Hey everybody, it's Corey from The Shape Within. Today I wanted to talk to you about some of the negative thoughts that keep a lot of people from making weight loss progress, or in some cases, these thoughts actually prevent people from taking any action at all with concern to diet and exercise. So I wanted to go over 7 different limiting negative thoughts that you might have and how to turn them around in your head and how to come to understand that these things do not have to hold you back, and in a lot of cases you'll realize that the truth is actually the opposite of what you think with concern to these negative thoughts. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first negative thought that a lot of people have right off the bat when they're thinking about losing weight or they've just started losing weight is they think that it's just not going to work. Now, a little bit later, we'll go over the thought of not knowing whether or not you will do the work. But in this case, a lot of people think they've gathered this thought over the years through failure and struggle. They've gathered the thought that if they do all of the right things, that it's still just not going to work, that they're the exception, and that healthy food and exercise are just, and putting themselves into a healthy calorie deficit just isn't going to work for them. I've had this thought before, and it can completely stop you. If you think on some level that if you do all of the right things that it's just not going to make a difference, then yeah, it's going to make it really hard for you to lose weight and for you to take action. And so however it is that you've come to gather this thought in your head in the past, whether it's that you just haven't had the right support motivationally, or maybe you struggled through diets that just weren't the right method. Maybe you tried to kind of starve yourself in the past and that only worked for a short amount of time. However it is that you've come to think that if you do the right things and eat healthy and exercise, that it's just not going to work for you or apply to you, you've got to get rid of that thought. You've got to believe that when you do all the right things that you're going to see progress. It's going to take time. On average, a good rate of weight loss is about 2 pounds per week. And so that does take time to see, but you've got to know that when you do the right things, your results, they will show, the rewards will stack up, and you can reach your weight loss goal. And so stop thinking that things just won't work for you. Now, the second thought that people have, the second negative thought that people have that really limits them from losing weight is the thought that develops along the way. Maybe after a couple of weeks, they start thinking, is this even worth it? Because it is hard to establish an exercise routine. It is really hard to start eating healthy. And if you don't give yourself the time to witness the rewards stacking up week after week, you can immediately start to think, is this even worth it? I'm not really seeing a lot of results. This is a lot of work. Can I stick this through? Even if I can, is it really going to be worth it? And so you have to remind yourself of a couple of things. One, you have to remind yourself just of how big the reward will be in the end as the results stack up. You have to remind yourself that as 2 pounds add upon the next 2 pounds and the next 2 pounds, that once you reach 20 or 50 pounds, that it's going to be a really big amount that you're going to be really happy about. And the next thing is you have to realize that yes, losing a big amount of weight, it is going to make a big difference in your life. It's not just some big number that you can stare at and be happy about, that it's displaying on the scale. You're actually going to be living a better life, a healthier life. You're going to be able to do more things. You're going to be thinner, stronger, lighter, and you're going to just feel better about yourself. And so that may sound obvious, but it can be easy to start losing sight of those things as especially in the beginning phases of your diet, when you just haven't had enough time to see your results stack up. So don't let yourself think that it's not going to be worth it, and constantly remind yourself that it's going to be very, very worth the rewards to stick with all of your efforts and put in the hard work that you are. So the next thought The next limiting belief, I guess we could say, that keeps people from losing weight is they keep telling themselves, this is going to take forever. This might be a thought that develops, like we just talked about. It might develop within the first couple of weeks as you're not seeing results. Or this might be something that you've just been telling yourself from the beginning before even starting. This is typically a thought that people who have a lot of weight to lose, that they especially will think. If you have 100 pounds or more to lose, you might be very likely to think, wow, this is just going to take forever. It's going to take me longer than these people, and I just don't know if I can stick to it for 2 or 3 times as long as this person who only has a little bit of weight to lose. I've also been there before. I never really thought that I was going to get as big as I did, and I know that there's a lot of people out there who have lost or have to lose many multiples of what I lost, and so it's not going to take forever. For anyone with any amount of weight to lose, it just doesn't happen overnight. And you got to remember that if you have quite a bit of weight to lose, you're going to go through many transformations along the way. It's not all about the end goal. And you can reach your end goal, and you will if you stick to a healthy diet and an exercise routine. But don't just focus on, if you have 100 pounds to lose, don't just focus on trying to reach your end goal and how long will it take to lose 100 pounds. By the way, it'll take about a year if you have 100 pounds to lose. But don't just think of your end goal. You have to realize that once you lose your first 5 pounds, that's a little mini transformation in itself, and it's going to make you feel really good. You'll be able to see noticeable results in the mirror and on the scale. And then it's going to give you the confidence to keep going, and then you'll lose 10 pounds and 20 pounds, 50, and then you're 100 pounds. And so stop telling yourself that it's going to take forever. In the end, once you start losing weight and start seeing results, you're going to realize that if you just keep repeating what you're already doing and stepping up your game, that you will get there. And so just don't worry about how long it's going to take. Just establish a healthy lifestyle filled with healthy habits, keep working at it, and as soon as you get in the swing of things, you won't be so worried about how long it's going to take, because you'll know that you're going to get there. So another thought that a lot of people have, which will prevent them from trying to lose weight, is when they think that they're just not motivated enough of a person to lose weight. I hear a lot of people talking about themselves like this, as if they will never have the motivation or the discipline that it takes to lose a significant amount of weight, as if these were traits that people were just born with, and you either have it or you don't. And so if you feel that you're very unmotivated and undisciplined, then I want you to know that this is something that you can actually change very quickly about yourself, and you're not stuck being that way. Unmotivated and undisciplined is not who you are. And so you can become very motivated and disciplined by simply starting to take action towards your goals and continuing to put forth effort and keep taking action until, one, you develop a habit, and that's where others from the outside will look in and say, oh wow, that's a very disciplined person. And technically you will be, but it won't feel so much like discipline because it will have become a habit. Healthy eating and exercise will have become a part of your lifestyle, and where others say you're so disciplined, you'll say, well, it's just a part of who I am now. It's just my everyday routine. And so that's the first part of it, is building a habit. But the second part is that once you actually give yourself enough time to see all of the effort and the sacrifices that you're putting forward, returning rewards back to you, then you'll actually become very highly motivated. That's a big part of being motivated, is actually seeing that what you're doing is working and actually giving you rewards back. And so just simply start taking action, give yourself enough time to start seeing the rewards stack up, and you'll not only develop a habit of doing all the healthy things that you should be doing, like eating healthy every day and exercising multiple times per week, but you'll also gain motivation from the excitement that you feel in seeing all of the rewards from your hard work. So another notion that a lot of people have, which will prevent them from trying to lose weight at all, is when they think that they could just never become a healthy eater. Now, there might be a couple of different reasons why you would think this way. Maybe in the past you've had some bad experiences with just trying to find healthy foods that you actually like. Or maybe you feel this way because you're just so attached to the foods that you're already eating that you just can't imagine yourself getting away from them. And so this is something that I used to struggle with quite a bit. When I was overweight, my diet was very, very unhealthy. And even though somewhere along the way I had finally learned that eating healthy was the key to my weight problem, even though I knew that, I just never thought that I would actually be able to eat healthy consistently, because I was a very, very picky eater. I was very addicted to the junk foods that I was already eating, and all in all, I just wouldn't eat fruits or vegetables or really anything healthy. I didn't eat fruits or vegetables until I was in my late 20s. And so I always say, if I can do it, you can do it. If you're thinking that you're just one of those people that could never make the habit of eating healthy, you can absolutely prove yourself wrong. Just start eating healthy and take things at a pace that you can handle. You don't have to change your diet overnight. You don't have to, go so intense that you feel like giving up the next day or the next week. You can make amazing, amazing weight loss progress by being far less than perfect and without having to eat perfectly healthy all day and completely give up junk. And so if you're wanting to start changing your diet and you're worried that you might be one of those people that will have a hard time with eating a full healthy diet filled with all healthy foods, you can take a while to get there. It does take some time for everybody, and you can deliberately just start going at things at a gradual pace. Add a healthy meal into your life today, and then maybe next week start eating 2 healthy meals every day. And with the addition of those healthy meals, you'll replace the unhealthy things that you would have been eating otherwise. And so you'll be getting more nutrients and filling your belly and never feeling hungry, while significantly reducing your calorie intake and therefore losing weight without ever having to be hungry or even really stress out. And so give yourself time to change. You can absolutely become somebody who is a healthy eater. And not only that, you can become somebody who is happy to eat healthy and doesn't have to struggle against their diet. So one of the biggest negative thoughts that holds people back when they're trying to lose weight is when they're constantly telling themselves that they've failed or that they've messed up. And this is detrimental to think, and very rarely is it true, because you've only really failed when you've told yourself that you failed and you give up for an extended period of time or completely. And so when you miss a workout or you have an unexpected healthy meal, you stop by the fast food place when you didn't mean to, you have a couple extra pieces of pizza, or you had the soda when you really didn't plan on it, none of those things constitute failure, but any of those things can lead to failure if you let them. And if you're hard on yourself and you say, I've messed everything up, I might as well start over at a later time or just give up. I'll never be able to do this. I'll never be able to lose weight if I'm having these sodas or this pizza. And just none of that is true. You have to realize that it really takes a lot to set you back in your progress. It's really more about making more forward progress than you are backwards progress. And so don't expect yourself to be perfect at all. So this brings me to the last thought that I'm going to talk about, which is something that really holds a lot of people back from losing weight. And that's the thought of starting over. So many people are always telling themselves, I'll just start over tomorrow, or I'll just start over next week. And it really shouldn't come as a surprise that if you're always starting over, it's going to be really hard to make forward weight loss progress. And so whatever the reason is that you're always wanting to start over, try to identify that reason and tell yourself that it's not necessary, and that if you can overcome it, this can be the time that you actually make consistent weight loss progress, and this can be the time that you actually reach your weight loss goals. So I hope you like this video. If you do, please like and subscribe. And if you want to read any more about these doubtful thoughts that keep you from losing weight, then I've linked the article for this video below.